My husband and I keep fighting about my weight. And I don't know where to go from here. I have been with my partner for about 8 years. This issue has been going on for about the last 1.5 years. A year before we got married, my then fiancé approached me about losing weight. He encouraged me to lose weight for the wedding. I had already lost about 40 pounds by this point on my own. Me and him were on the same page. I wanted to lose more weight. Shit absolutely hit the fan shortly after this. And to make a long story short, my personal life essentially flipped upside down and I actually started gaining weight. I was drinking more to cope and I was a couple months into taking antidepressants for anxiety. So naturally it was getting harder to not only lose weight but maintain my prior weight loss. After a couple months I started to come out of it and get my shit together. I saw a doctor and asked for help. I wanted to make sure my body was in good shape to get ready to have kids. Since then I have lost all the weight I gained and then some. I still have more weight to lose, probably about 30 pounds. Yes, I'm overweight, but I'm by no means obese. My health is excellent. I get blood work once every 3 months, and everything is monitored by my doctor. I have PCOS and see a reproductive endocrinologist for this. Every couple weeks my now husband would say stuff to me about how he wants me to lose weight and how nothing he says is getting me to do it. It really came to a head last weekend. I was making a bagel for breakfast and he kept giving me a hard time about it. That it's not healthy and it's sugary, and I'm going to feel like crap if I eat it. And I said I'm very much in the mood for this. I just want to enjoy this one bagel, leave me alone. He stopped, but the comment didn't sit right with me and I brought up my frustrations later in the day. I wanted him to understand that sometimes I have cravings because I'm human, and it's my choice what I put into my body. He broke down and said he's upset with me that I'm not losing weight, that every day he looks at me and gets upset over it. And don't I want to wear a bikini like other girls? And that I couldn't lose it for the wedding, and he feels like now that that is past, am I ever going to actually do it? We talked it out and I reassured him that I do want to lose weight, which is the God's honest truth. The conversation was over and we moved on, but it honestly gutted me. I was so upset for days over it. I felt uncomfortable in my own skin. I felt like to make my husband happy, I had to lose weight. I felt watched under a microscope. We went on a trip a couple days ago to visit a friend and I felt like I couldn't eat or drink what I wanted because Elle felt watched. I kept thinking, is he getting pissed off because of how I look, or what I'm ordering to eat? I couldn't figure out if my feelings were justified. Yes, he's entitled to say whatever he wants to say to me, but aren't I entitled to do what I want with my body? I was feeling watched and controlled and judged. The world is so body positive and all about acceptance, and yet I feel like my partner in life was putting me down and not accepting me. How could I love and accept myself if my life partner has an issue with the physical me? I just want to be me. I decided to talk to him tonight about it. I tried explaining that his actions were doing more harm than good, and that I didn't want to have these conversations anymore, that I wanted to focus on my weight loss on my own, and that as my partner, he should love me unconditionally anyway, especially since I used to be heavier than I am now. And it was never brought up back then. I thought when we made vows to each other, that's what it meant. This did not go over well. He got very, very upset with me, told me I was making this difficult and that I was the worst, that I haven't lost weight for 2 years. Ouch. I kept telling him that his words were doing more harm than good, and I needed support a different way. He told me that was my problem. Fine. I agreed, therefore I didn't want to have conversations about my weight anymore. He told me fine, be fat. He said I could be 300 pounds and he wouldn't give a shit. Then he threw in one final comment about how he's not having kids with me until I lose the weight. We haven't talked since. What can I do? He clearly doesn't get how I feel. I'm trying the best that I can. I feel like he feels attacked because in his mind he's trying to support me. We go to the gym together and try and make healthy meals together. And I love that stuff. I just don't like the comments that put me down, the pressure, and the judgment, even if those aren't his intentions. I want to know that he loves me for me, and even if I never lost another pound, he would still love me unconditionally. He says he does, but I feel like his actions speak otherwise. How can I better explain to him how I feel? Am I the asshole for telling my daughter to get over what happened in the past? I am new on Reddit, so for some background and context, I 54 years old have one daughter Ella 28, with my ex Dylan 57. Dylan and I amicably divorced when Ella was only 4 years old. Few years later I married my now husband Jack, 55. He was a single dad of 2 kids, Jason, 25, and Sophie, 27. Jack and I also have a daughter Bella, 17. This is about Sophie and Ella. I always thought since they were closer to the age they would get along really well, and I was right. They were like best friends and we were really happy in our blended family. When Ella was in college, she met this guy Brian, 30, at a cafe where she worked. They started dating. I was happy for Ella. Brian proposed to Ella in front of our whole family and it was very romantic. Everything was fine until one day, Ella came to our house screaming at Sophie. She claims that Sophie has been sleeping with Brian. I told her she must be joking. Sophie would never do that to her. There was a lot of screaming until Sophie finally said that she and Brian are in love. This caused more commotion. We did have an extremely hard conversation with Sophie. She showed her remorse and was very guilty. We tried to talk to Ella that Sophie was sad and maybe she should forgive her. But Ella was having none. She went on to more screaming and bashing all of us that we are abandoning her and picking Sophie. That is not the case. I tried to make it as peaceful as possible but Ella didn't want that. When Ella and Brian broke up, he started dating Sophie. They got engaged within a year. Sophie wanted Ella to be her bridesmaid, but Ella just said, "Over my dead body." I thought it was really cruel of her to say that and she is being petty by holding on to the past anger. Needless to say she didn't come to the wedding, rather she left the city to live with her father. She didn't contact us much except for Bella. I thought she might need some time to cool off, but I was hurt that she kept us out of her life. We only got some insights from Bella and Jason. She only sent me cards on my birthday but hardly ever spoke to me. I think it was unfair. One day she came to our place. Sophie and Brian was also there. She gave us an invitation card to her wedding with someone named Ray. I don't know much about him. She didn't even include us in the wedding party. Plus the venue is a 4-hour drive, and the hotels in that area is expensive. We did agree but at the last moment Jack got sick and I had to cancel it. When I told her the reason I cannot come to her wedding she told me to not bother. She made the right choice by not including me in her wedding. She knew I was a bad mom. It really bothered me. I always wanted to be by her side. But the place and time she was getting married was not compatible for us. That was 2 years ago. She never contacted us again. Few weeks ago, my daughter Bella showed me in a post in Instagram that Ella was pregnant. She posed with her stepmother with a caption like "She will be a good grandmother." I was furious. How can she forget her whole family here? So, I called her from Bella's phone and wanted an explanation. She replied that since I never bothered to be at her wedding, I don't deserve to be in her kid's life. She said it is not just her wedding. She claims I have never been supportive of her, that I do no care about her. She went on to blabbing that she never felt like she had my support, even when she got cheated on and I choose my stepdaughter over her. I told her it was not fair for her to hold that against me till now because it was 6 years ago. She has moved on and Sophie has moved on as well. She is being petty by holding on to something that happened years ago. So, did I do anything wrong? Edit, look, I did not abandon Ella. I tried to be there for her. When she and Brian broke up I went to her place to support her almost every day. I just think it is silly to hold on to something that happened years ago. I get that she didn't wanted to be a bridesmaid but she could have attended the wedding. I never pressured her. Yes, I was disappointed but if she politely declined I would have never thought it was cruel and I tried my best to attend her wedding. We booked the hotel too. But Jack got really sick. We did apologize and promised to make it up to her in some ways. But she rejected it. Edit the 2nd of April 1930. Hi, this is Bella editing. I have been trying to post a full update but mods kept removing it. So actual update in profile here. Update on April 30th, 2023. Hi guys, this is Bella, the half-sister of Ella. So basically I am writing this update to clear things out. Basically this whole argument with Ella being pregnant happened 2 months ago. There have been fights and crying from my mom's part. I tried my best to explain to her that what she did was over the line and she cannot expect Ella to be okay with it after my mom, hurt her. My mom still insists Ella is being unfair. She thinks every other person would agree with her lol. So I gave her just that. I have been on Reddit for 3 years. I have seen how people tear apart people like my mom. So I told her that she should post it anonymously on Reddit. I did help her in the steps to make sure she includes everything, but she still left out some parts. I challenged her that nobody thinks she is right after the shit she pulled. It was hilarious to see my mom reacting to the comments. She genuinely thought people would be on her side, ha. She read the comments for 3 hours. You guys even met her, and those were cherry on top. Seeing how people actually see her, she literally cried her eyes out. She is still in denial and keeps saying they don't know anything. Well, she had a breakdown of how cruel some comments and PMs are. My dad came home and saw mom crying and scolded me for airing our dirty laundry. My mom demanded that I delete it. Instead, I deleted the Reddit app from her phone. But now I am writing this for you guys. I must say, Reddit doesn't disappointed. I have been reading all the comments. They are entertaining. My mom refuses to look at them. She is a lost cause. But I am here to clear things out a bit. I am the observer of my family. So, I have observed a lot of things. First of all, my mom didn't cheat with my dad as far as I know, since some of you were suggesting the divorce with Ella's dad was amicable, but that's what I heard. My mom has this weird obsession with having twins. She always wanted twin girls. But that never happened. Since Sophie and Ella are almost the same age, my mom pretended that they are twins. I think she created this whole fantasy in her mind that Ella and Sophie will do everything together and have a matching life. Though Ella and Sophie never had bad blood, they were far from being twins. They are like normal people, but my mom still wanted the twin lifestyle for them. Also, just like you guys pointed it out, mom is the type of person whose family comes first. She wanted Ella to forgive everything and be okay with Brian and Sophie so that she, my mom, can show it off to people that in our family we always forgive and forget no matter how shitty the other person is. And Ella was ruining that Disney musical fantasy for my mom. My dad only cared about his bio daughters, though he was never mean to Ella and always loved her. Blood comes first to him as well. Jason pretty much doesn't give a shit. He and Sophie were not that close, neither was Ella and him. I am close with Ella. The only reason I showed that Insta post so that I can show mom what Ella is doing. She always asks me about her life. I thought this would bring some form of accountability from her part. But no. As you can see, I was wrong and I take full responsibility for it. Second thing, mom and dad did berate Sophie about her affair with Brian. Sophie started waterworks that she will do anything to gain forgiveness from Ella. Sophie even said she will cut off all contact with Brian, but Ella was having none of it. I think my parents got manipulated by the fake waterworks of Sophie. That's why they kept pushing the forgiveness on Ella. And you guys asked what happened to Jack. My dad, well, he fell down the stairs and hurt his back. I wasn't there because I was a bridesmaid at Ella's wedding. So I spent the whole week there in her town. Sophie and Brian were not invited. Jason was out of town too. But I still think if mom made an effort, she could have easily made it to the wedding. She did try to say sorry and offered to pay for their honeymoon, but I don't think that is enough. I mean, it was her daughter, for God's sake. Lastly, my mom lied. Sophie and Brian are not happy couple lol. They look like they are in the brink of divorce. My mom still has no idea that Brian cheated on Sophie with a stripper on his bachelor party. Sophie forgave him because it was his bachelor party, so it doesn't count. I knew that she also cheated on him at her baccalaureate party too. I don't have the evidence, but I just know. A month ago, Sophie decided that she would also try for a baby. I am willing to bet that Brian will skip town when that happens, or he might not be the father. But we shall see. Also, I am sorry for dragging you guys to my family drama. I just wanted mom to see that she is wrong. Even she tried to save her ass by replying, but you guys gave her a new one. I was a little skeptical about posting here because I know a lot of you guys would think this is fake and not give proper replies. And sorry if you felt deceived that someone else coerced up to make a post. So I am being clear once and for all. The first post was made by my mom. This update is being written by Bella, the youngest sibling. If you guys have any questions, I will try my best to answer them.